Remarkable! Incredible! Unbelievable!
Save! And fuck our champions! Good up, Pepe!
Goal! It doesn't get any better than that!
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards so I know that they're together and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the...
Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Laurel Hill Park in Secaucus. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game and Frame, and we've got a really entertaining match lined up for you this afternoon. In the APSL Metropolitan Conference, Hoboken FC and New York Pancyprian Freedoms. Hoboken looking to recover after a slow start to the spring. They come in 5th place after a draw and 2 losses to start the new year. They found themselves 6 points behind Manhattan Celtic for the 4th and final playoff spot today. That has increased to 9 since this afternoon when Manhattan Celtic defeated the New York Athletic Club. They'll be playing to stay in that race. The Pancyprians coming into the day leading the Metro Division after a dramatic 101st minute equalizer against New York Greek Americans last week. They came in 3 points ahead of the Greeks. Greek Americans yesterday defeated Kid Super Samba, so they must win in order to maintain their margin. Lots to play for today between Hoboken and the Pancyprians. We are going to have a really fun match, and we'll have it for you right after this. Today's Game and Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game and Frame community an exclusive discount. Scan the QR code to get 10% off and keep it fresh. Teams are lined up. Starting lineup for the Pancyprians has been given to us. Josh Levine in goal. Dylan Woods, Jens Hoff, Jack Sluis and Devin Hune in the back. Jordan Ballion, Konstantinos Chouros, and Joe Holland in midfield. Sebastian Ruiz, Harry Cook, and James Tristino up top. For Hoboken, a couple of new faces. And a couple of additions and subtractions to the starting 11. Off we go. There's Mike Park. Jordan Jowers, who quickly takes it and will go out for a Hoboken throw. Trigger back in. And Pancyprian's getting that ball off of Luca DeStasio, who they know to keep an eye on. DeStasio, third in the conference, along with Ali Dawa and Barakatullah Sharifi, with 11 goals, one of them coming against the Pancyprians in the reverse fixture. Levine up. That's some good push there, but DeStasio is stopped by Ballion. Good tackle in the open field. Here's Cook. One ricochets around a little bit. Strong tackling already. Corey Burkhart, he's a guy that you can call him new for this season. He did not play in the first half. Back in harness now. That ball for his brother Spencer is intercepted. Enzo Petricelli fights for the throw-in and gets it. Or no, does not. Referee overruling the assistant on the far side there. DeStasio looking to press. Low along the ground for Cook. Park gets a foot in and a foul. And the Pancyprians will see about maybe pushing this ball into the box. This team's played in Queens in the last week of October. It was a tight game early. The Pancyprians pulled away late to win it 4-2. These two teams have had a history, though, in the last 12 months. The late last season, these two, they met in the U.S. Amateur Cup, a breathtaking 4-4 draw that ended in penalties with the Pancyprians winning the shootout. But Hoboken beat the Pancyprians on this ground last year by a 3-1 count. Ballion. Hoff pushing forward. Cook forced back. And there's a bit of a push there. It's headed back in, but it's loose, and Burkhart sends it to his brother. Here comes Jowers. Tristino stepping in. Hoboken keeping it. Park will back it up. Sent Josimar Sanchez to Daniel Brady. That one popped up on him. And that is ruled out. Adam Garner disagreeing. Garner, another new face for Hoboken this year. Here's Hune. Garner gets that out. Now Sebastian Ruiz, back to Balian. Now Hoff. Woods. Tristino into Cook. Cook trying to turn. Brady doesn't let him. And Adam Yingling tracking back to poke that one free. Now Jowers is going to run with it. On the ground for DiStasio. Not a lot of support though, and Balian again coming back. Levine to Woods. Petrocelli with the pressure. Corey Burkhart. Park. Brady. Hoboken going to try to maintain possession for a little bit here. Spencer Burkhart trying to flip that to Jowers. Don't think Jowers was on the same page with him.
What are you waiting for?
Levine finally puts that forward. Header won by Park. Mike Park under a lot of pressure from Holland, and that's going to be a foul. And some disagreement amongst the players there. Holland seems to be receiving a talking to, I think more for attitude than for what the actual foul was. Park puts that inside. Burkhart trying to win the second ball. Cook brings that down. But that wasn't Park, that was Enzo Petrocelli. And Andrew Bordy's going to have to come out for that. Bordy's so good at controlling his area, and he might have to exert quite a bit of it today. Holland, Ruiz. Yingling comes from behind again. Adam Yingling, who scored in that 3-1 win on this ground last year. Here's Hoff. Dylan Woods. Now Balliot. Sorry, Balin. Been mispronouncing that. Jordan Balin. That one gets past Yingling this time. On the ground, in the box. Cross rejected there from Hianu. The left back. Here's Ruiz. Ruiz trying to cut inside. Balin. It's a sea of legs there, and Bordy is going to call Garner off. Two of the best goalkeepers in this division working in between the sticks today. Here's Sanchez. Park. Immediate pressure from Konstantinos Strouros. Brady looking to try to get that forward. Deflected out. Garner to trigger it back in. And advancing a little bit too far. That's looking for DiStasio. Coming out over to our camera position. Nice chest pass there by Jowers, looking for Corey Burkhart. Now Spencer into the channel. This is a tough angle. It's going to be a corner though. Lots more APSL action coming on Game and Frame. Later tonight in the Delaware River Conference, Oakland United versus Jersey Shore. That's at 8. And then next week, lots of action in this Metropolitan Division. CPR against Richmond County, Zum Schneider against Kid Super Samba, and these Pancyprians against Manhattan Celtic. If you're Hoboken, you have to think that that's maybe an opportunity. If you manage points here, you could then close to within 3 if the Pancyprians were to beat Celtic. Counter is on for the Pancyprians, though. Ends up getting disrupted and ended by Bordy. Here's Jowers. Not the best of control there by Yingling. Balin. Joe Holland. Holland 15 goals this year. 13 goals this year. That's second in the conference. That's backed all the way out to Huff. Garner stepping into Holland. He'll back it out to Ruiz. And the Pancyprians that's a good ball over the top for Woods. Into the middle, Woods, Garner. Got just enough of it. And across comes Yingling again, tracking out. And that's the assistant has called that out for a corner kick. Didn't look like it from this vantage point. Yingling may have an argument. The referee sticking with the call from his assistant on the far side, but Joe Holland to put it in. First corner of the game for the Pancyprians. It's low. Garner can get it, and it is immediately cleared out. Not a good delivery from Holland. Balin. Gets past Corey Burkhart. That's into the channel. Balin. Got it out again. Now Ruiz going from distance. Always wide. Pancyprians definitely in control of the early phases here. In the 13th minute. However, that shot by Ruiz, the first for either side today. Jowers soars to get that one. Here's Burkhart. Looking for D'Estasio, but Sluys doesn't let him get it, and a foul on D'Estasio. Hoff. Nope, sorry, check that. That is Hoff, sorry. Corey Burkhart winning that one. Jowers rolls it for Park. Advantage is called by the referee. Park will bring it back. They can maintain possession here for a minute. D'Estasio brought it down, but let it run a little too much. That one is brought in. D'Estasio trying to turn with it. And that's given away. Burkhart, Yingling. Burkhart again. Burkhart! Oh, he had D'Estasio at the top of the box open. He would have had an easy turn and shot, but he missed him. high intensity in this match, as we've come to expect from this fixture over the last year. This one for that one into the box. Holland, the target, and the assistant referee on the far side being accosted by Brady after he makes that clearance. There was reason to believe that James Tristino might have been offside. Instead, it's a corner kick. See if Holland's delivery is any better. This one is. Into a sea of bodies, though. No one's going to get to it except Petrocelli. Petrocelli chested down. Juros hooking that away. That's a good ball. Good gain there by Jowers, but he gave it right back. Here's Hoff. Sorry, Hune. Woods. Juros. Joe Holland. Sending that one to the far end of the box, but it's booted out by Spencer Burkhardt, only to come right back, and now the flag does go up. Smart save by Bordy. But this time, the Pancyprians are caught offside. A little bit more of a conflict going on with that with the assistant referee on the far side. Sanchez a little bit lazy as to being in line with where the offside was. Here is Hoff. He's had no problem striding forward with the ball. Here's Wood. Sanchez stayed with him. Good defending. Tries to put it up the line to Burkhardt, but can't get it there. And that is going to be a goal kick. '18th minute. Hoboken been doing a lot of defending. They haven't quite been able to get the ball to that man, D'Estasio, in position to attack. Sluis bails it out. Garner. Stasio header back to his fullback. Jowers trying to win it. Still in the air. Park. Balin got ahead to it. Jowers now. Park skewed that. But Sanchez gets in front of Cook. And he keeps it, takes it down. Park. Burkhardt. All the way back for Bordy. And that's Enzo Petrocelli coming back to get it. Hoboken still with possession. Corey Burkhardt. Good diagonal ball. Garner. Sluis had the better angle, but not by much. And Levine Almost got closed down there by DeStasio. Balin. Hune. Park. Burkhart. Forward. Looking for Yingling. Out comes Levine. A step or two ahead. This one looking over the top. Here's Cook. Brady does just enough. And it rolls over to Bordy. Corey Burkhart. Jowers. Here's Yingling. Trying to tap that forward for Spencer Burkhart, and Park a little bit too strong with the header there. Woods. Saw Woods holding his arm up to keep the sun out of his eyes, and if you're looking this way towards our camera position, the sun is going to be right there. It's a perpetual problem on this field for some guys. Bordy will come out as Cook can only glance that. "20 minutes gone. Still no score here between Hoboken and New York Pancyprians. That's going to be a foul. Spencer Burkhart with the trip on the far side. Intense match, but few fouls and no cards so far. Here's Hyunyu. Burkhart has to back it up. Bordy takes that out. Taken down by Park, and then Garner has to bail it out. There's an extra ball. And now we're back in. It's Luis. Levine, well outside his area. Hoff. Big diagonal ball looking for Holland. Finds him. Garner defending it. Looking for DeStasio. He cushions it down for Jowers. Hoboken trying to break here. Burkhart. He scored Hoboken's other goal when these two teams played in October on a gorgeous free kick. Park. Burkhart going for it. Wide. First shot of the game for Hoboken. Today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount. Scan the QR code to get 10% off and keep it fresh. Pancyprian's putting the ball back in play. We've got a long one here looking for Sebastian Ruiz. Garner giving chase. Garner overran him a little bit. Here is Ruiz, and Bordy protecting his near post. It's the kind of shot that you expect Andrew Bordy to handle. Give Ruiz a little space. He can hurt you. Nice. Nice ball there by DeStasio. That one takes a weird bounce on Burkhart, and Woods is able to knock it out into the parking lot. Only 3 shots combined for these two so far, 1 on target. Petrocelli, Woods, Cook, too strong on Josimar Sanchez. Now Mike Park. That was right into the pressure of Hollins. Hollins! And that's going to be, there's going to be a call there. And Daniel Brady has gotten a red card. Brady a red for a last man foul, and Hoboken are down to 10 for the next 65 minutes. I was expecting a yellow there. Hoboken trying to argue that there was coverage, but this game has just changed in a big way. Now they've got now the referee going to speak to his assistant. Hoboken perhaps getting a reprieve there. We'll see. And he's staying with his call. Daniel Brady is done for the day early, and Hoboken have a mountain to climb. Holland going for goal. It's over the top. And now Hoboken will start play as they head out a man light. It's like referee still having, and now a yellow card to the bench for Hoboken. Enzo Petrocelli is getting some talk in as well. A controversial moment here. Perhaps a little harsh. Hoboken definitely making the case that they had coverage in the back. Meanwhile, Mike Park has dropped back from the midfield and is covering the spot that Brady was in. We'll see if Hoboken makes any other changes between now and the half, or if they try to hold out and maybe make some adjustments during the break. Balin looking across for Woods, who again having to deal with the sun in his eyes there. Sluice. Balin along the ground, not controlled by Cook. Yingling. This is probably going to have to be Hoboken's plan of attack for the rest of the game to break like that. Churros. Out here. to Hanu on the far side. And then Jowers. Holland, and he's going to be stopped there for a handball. And now Holland is doubled over and holding his ankle, it looks like. And if they were to lose Joe Holland for any reason, that would be certainly a blow for the Pancyprians, who, for all the control that they have exerted in this match so far, only tested Andrew Bordy once. Tristino looking over the top for Cook. Sanchez gonna bring it back to Bordy. Here's Park. Now he'll have to do double duty, both defending and distributing here. He's gonna go long, looking for Yingling. Yanyu flicking it toward the sideline. Yingling back to Garner. Good play there. Good combination. Hoboken with some possession. Garner past Ruiz. Corey Burkhart back to Garner. It was just a tiny bit behind him, but Sanchez steps up. And that's going to go out for a throw for Hoboken. Any possession that Hoboken can maintain right now will be huge. Hoboken condemned to playing a man light for more than an hour after the red card to Daniel Brady. Woods triggers it back into Hoff. Ruiz. Now Sluis. Balin. Ruiz is alone on the far end, and they found him. Crossed in, and Tristino on a wild turn sends that ball perhaps to a watery grave behind that goal on the left-hand side. 33rd minute. Still goalless. Hoboken definitely don't want to lose any ground to Manhattan Celtic, but at this point, even a point here would be a result they'd probably take. DeStasio. Jowers. Going for a diagonal to Garner. And that's going to be a foul. And we're going to have a yellow card here. For Garner. Things getting chippy, and referee not quite ready for the play to begin. Levine. Two cards now issued in this game. The red to Brady, the yellow to Garner. Makes you wonder if Tristan Barquin might be coming in sometime around the half. Make sure that you've cleared out any players under caution, especially already down. Sluis steps out to deny that attempt to find DeStasio running. Across the field for Ruiz. Woods. Into the middle. Holland off the chest. Backs it off to Hoff. Hoff can afford to put himself a little deeper and add even more to the overload. Sluis. Flick by Tristino. Balin. Looking for Cook. Cook. Down but no call. Ruiz though. Or sorry, that was Juros, I think. Woods into the middle, over top of everybody. Here's Ruiz recovering this one. Yingling is facing him up. Back. Hanyu. Now Hoff. Woods. Josh Levine is almost to the center circle behind the play, directing traffic for the build-up here. Garner. Hoboken getting the benefit of that call. Here's Juros. That was deflected. Holland. Garner. DeStasio. Out-muscled by Sluis. There was that shout by the Pancyprians for handball on Park. It looked like that came off his chest. It's Tristino around Petrocelli. It's going to be a corner. Little less than 10 minutes to go in this half. If Hoboken can find a way to hold, get themselves into the break even. Holland. And the ball's headed down. And it looked like Balin. That ball was kicked off the line. It's going to be a throw-in. Closest we've come to a goal so far. Hoboken clearing that one off their line. But the Pancyprians continuing to push. And given how deadly they are in an 11-on-11 scenario, you have to wonder if it's only a matter of time. Sluis. Juros. Wide to Tristino. Cross is deflected and... Sorry, that was not Tristino. Tristino was the one that was in the box. That was Holland. Apologies. Petrocelli jumped there by Woods, but Sanchez cleans it up. Jowers. Into Corey Burkhart. He's going to back it off. Yingling can't control. Juros. Yingling chasing him across the field. Petrocelli involved as well. Left on. Sanchez picks out that low cross. Looking for Burkhart, but it's too far. Hanyu. Holland. Shouldered out of the area by Jowers. It's headed away. Sluis. Switch. Woods. Now Hoff. Henway. And that one was short. Jowers intercepts. Let's see if Hoboken can break. Burkhart. Going deep for Yingling. He manages to run it down, gets it back to corner. Hoboken can maybe relieve the pressure for a little bit here. Garner. Back to Bordy. Here's Park. Yingling. Garner. DeStasio. Trying to send it down. He thought Garner was still going. He had held his run up a little bit. And the Pancyprians back on the football. Here is Sluis. Diagonally to Ruiz. Garner. He just goes with the cross quickly. And that is taken down by Sanchez. Again, another scenario where they just have to clear it anywhere. Can't get any real purchase. Here's another one for Holland! Holland off the post, and it's in! James Tristino. There for the rebound. After Joe Holland put it off the far post and the Pancyprians have the breakthrough in the 42nd minute. And finally the extra man paying for the Pancyprians. Hoboken down a man, down a goal. They'll have to chase this. Park. Garner gets that one, gets around his man. A yellow card here. There's a... See, the yellow card, I think, was shown to... It was shown to Burkhart, I think? Was it shown to Burkhart for dissent? Or to a... I think that was the case. A couple of the Pancyprians players thought that it was going to Garner, which would have been his second. Here is Burkhart. He scored on a free kick in the first match. He's going to put it in this time. Park trying to keep it alive. That one takes a high bounce. Garner couldn't control it. Ruiz. Tristino. And rather theatrical trip to the turf by Cook there. 1 minute left of normal time. We'll see what stoppages go. We have had a lot of dead ball time, especially for the argument in the aftermath of the red card that was shown to Brady. Burkhart trying to get it to his brother. That's going to be a foul. And that's going to be a card for Juros. The tackle's coming in hard. Petrocelli is going to trigger this back in. Might try to send this long. He will. Into the box. That was almost landed on the head of D'Estasio. Good ball from Petrocelli there. Park clears that out. Yingling. Jowers. Looking to try to get that to Burkhart. And ends up with Balin doing it for him. Jowers into the middle. Still free, and that's scooped out. And now Ruiz. Heading downfield. Ruiz. Forced wide by Sanchez. It's off the bar and in. Sebastian Ruiz. Right at the end of the half. Hoboken were stretched. Sanchez made a valiant effort to push him wide, but he was able to kiss the inside of that post. And the Pancyprians now have a 2-0 lead. And that's going to do it. A interesting first half, to say the least. A game that has been markedly changed by the red card shown to Daniel Brady in the 25th minute for denial of a goal-scoring opportunity. Hoboken down to 10 men, weathered the pressure as long as they could, but 2 quick-fire goals right at the end of the half have New York Pancyprian Freedoms up 2-0. We're going to take you to our plays of the week now, halfway home from Laurel Hill Park.
Suarez, Saluga, trying to go through. Oh my word! It's Merchant again! Oh, he's got the brace.
Harasabovic sends it long for Kurcic. He chests it down, has a shot over the head and into the net. What a goal! Incredible work to tie this game for Sanjak. It's level at 1.
That was McCowan, the substitute. Hilk in front, Gilden! Fantastic again!
Dado, of course, who played in the middle match, which is hang on a second actually. Here's Yusefi, who hammers it in. Or Rodrigo Roca even. Back with a bang.
It's a race towards the box. Diambera trips. A great sliding challenge by Florent Papuki to knock that one away.
Ball played in behind. Can St. Paul get there first? He can. That's a great piece of goalkeeping. St. Paul beats him, and Jeboy coming the other way. End-to-end stuff. Can he find the finishing touch? Thomas. Goal! 2 for Thomas.
Oh, now Campos. Campos is through. Diego Campos. It's around the keeper. And he scores.
a miscommunication there. Zum Schneider could be away. This is the winger who has that burst of pace, and he is past Brady into the box now, beyond Ortiz and into the net.
Stinging ball. Contino shooting. Gilden, unbelievable to catch that.
Lots of movement in the box here by the Ukrainians. Can they get a header on it? Line drive and a goal! Excellent shot there by Curbelo. Striked beautifully.
Alejandro Saul, challenged by Sabovic, tries to touch it around him, kept in on the line. Brilliantly done, and still in.
Trouble's not over yet. Here's Richmond. Finds his man, and top corner.
By the visiting side. A tackle missed. International with space to run into. Here's the ball for Josh Adejokin. Adejokin around his man into the box. He's got a man in the middle. A shot and an opening goal. International on the board.
Can the Pancyprians rescue this out of the deck? Holland over the wall towards the far post. They have! They have! They've done it! It's extraordinary! The Pancyprians are going in top of the table!
My name is Austin Brummett. I'm a men's soccer player at San Diego State University, and I play forward. The Salt Air Case helps block odor from my cleats when I'm driving in my car or when I'm keeping my cleats inside my house, so I don't have to worry about it stinking up my room. It helps me keep track of my cleats and my shin guards, so I know that they're together, and I don't have to worry about tracking them down or losing them or stressing out about where they are. I would definitely rock this, walking to the games, walking around to my trainings. And it's super helpful for travel. When I travel in the airport to go to away games, it's not going to stink up my backpack or stink up the plane where I'm sitting. Magnetic strip on the top is super easy to open to take my cleats out and to put my cleats back in. I think it's an essential part of my outfit for soccer and helps keep all my stuff organized and stink-free.
A quality highlight reel is crucial for college and pro recruitment. A lot of services offer generic solutions, but at Game and Frame we know every player is unique and needs a personalised approach to win over coaches. Our process is simple. We work with any footage, and if you need help finding your best plays, we'll review games for you. Once we've finished, you'll have a reel you can upload to any recruitment platform. We've helped hundreds of players get the attention they deserve, including placements in Division 1 programs. Scan the QR code or email us for a free consultation and start the journey to maximize your recruitment potential.
Back here at Laurel Hill Park, second half about to begin. Hoboken FC 0, New York Pancyprian Freedoms 2. After the first half, Hoboken down a man after the 25th minute straight red card to Daniel Brady for denial of a goal scoring opportunity. And there are changes all over the place for Hoboken. Alberto Pangrazzi, number 9. You can see him there. Luke Smith, number 20, on the field. Tristan Barquin has come into the game at right back in place of Adam Garner, which takes the only player that was playing with a yellow card off the field for Hoboken. And a little bit surprisingly, there's a changing goal. It's Manuel Ortiz is in goal replacing Andrew Bordy. Don't know what that might be about. We'll see. The Pancyprians get us started. We've also got Joseph Kress in at midfield. This has been Tristino, shielded off of it by Sanchez. That's Jowers. Now Cook. And there's Ruiz on the back end. He's got 2. Right off the mark in the second half. The third goal for the Pancyprians. Hoboken immediately getting hit, and it might be, unfortunately, that the route is on. Now Ruiz again. Cross comes Jowers. And this second half might end up being an exercise in keeping the score down. That's into the middle. Tristino was alone there. Petrocelli a little bit late, but Ortiz came out and got it. One of the other problems here for Hoboken is that none of their other center backs are available today. Pangrazzi. Now Luke Smith getting his first touch. Out to Petrocelli. Now Park. That's why I'm going back. Park getting that one just behind Yingling. Park back there in the back 4 now. Kelvin Brito not here today. Brian Paredes not here today. So they are thin back there, which made that straight red to Brady hurt all the more. Sluis. Another change to tell you about with the Pancyprians. Devin Hanyu has come off. Pablo Yaneza is on. It's another instance of a player with a yellow card coming off. He was that yellow card that I had thought had gone to Spencer Burkhart had in fact gone to Hanyu. Hoff. Holland. Balin. Long for Ruiz. Tristan Barquin facing him up inside. It was Jowers who got it away, but not too far. Now here comes Balin, and it's going to be a goal kick. Another change on the Pancyprian. Samir Fathazada, number 15, is in. He's in midfield, I believe, in place of Konstantinos Shuros. So all of the players that went into halftime carrying a caution are off the pitch. Levine gets that to Yanetsa. And he'll leave it for Woods. Here's Petricelli. Kress. Jowers. Yingling. As that poked out by Balin. And now Joe Holland can pull the strings. Park with a good play. Flips that one out. Here's Hoff. Woods gets it from Fathazada. Ruiz on a hat trick. Ruiz. That's a cross blocked by Sanchez, and the flag was up. And the pressure released on Hoboken a little bit. Ortiz looking for Petricelli, and he finds it. Thanks to Petricelli there. That would have come right at our camera position had he not stopped it on the line. There's Tristan Barquin stepping in. Barquin tangling with Sanchez, with Ruiz, sorry. Sanchez steps out. Jowers. Now inside. Jowers. Here's a ball in. He's looking for Luke Smith. And that one is punched forward. Tristino jumps the challenge from Sanchez, but Park is there to keep the square from getting to Cook. Yingling trying to put that past Woods. All he does is get it to Sluis. Pangrazzi trying to press. (3-0) here in the early stages of this half. The Pancyprians had control of the game when Daniel Brady was sent off in the 25th minute. But Hoboken was still posing a danger. Now it has been one-way traffic. Inside. Hoff. Fatazada. That is easily picked out by Yingling. Pangrazzi trying to hold it. He ends up getting that and keeping it. Here's Jowers. Trying to get it up the line. Out relatively easily. Here is Tristino, flipping that inside. Tristino trying to get that to Yaneza. Sanchez gets that up after the tackle by Petrocelli. Petrocelli trying to play this out alongside Luke Smith. He gets out. Here's Pangrazzi. Pangrazzi trying to send Yingling in. But it's just going to roll out. 10 minutes into this half. The Pancyprians scoring their third within minutes. Likely extinguishing what hope was left for Hoboken of coming back. Yeah, that's in for Pangrazzi. He can't bring it in. Hoff taking it. That could have been dangerous had Pangrazzi managed to bring it down. Sluis. Now Hoff. That's going to be a flag going up against Cook. Yaneza was the man taking the cross. That is very long, but Luke Smith was right there. And he forces a throw in. Hoboken were to have any hope here, they would need a goal very soon. Pangrazzi trying to get that out to Jowers, but couldn't get it through the feet in between. Now Holland, Sanchez whiffing on that challenge. Here's Ruiz. Looking for a hat trick. Instead, he tries to send it to Jordan Balin on the far side. Changes for the Pancyprians now. Jack Sluis making his way off. So is Harry Cook, and so is Joe Holland. Balin also stepping away. That's Andreas Karalambus, number 23. Ruiz, he's still there, on to chase after a possible hat trick. That was hit a little bit too hard. Ortiz upfield. Woods pops that into the air. Luis Argudo moving it up. That's Ruiz. Couldn't bring it down, and the offside flag goes up regardless. Rickard Cederberg, another of the players coming on. He's number 3. Argudo number 8. Karolambis number 23. Chested down by Pangrazzi. Smith. Here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli trying to square for Pangrazzi. Pangrazzi stayed with it, but a couple of tackles. Here's a ball in for Pangrazzi from Barquin, collected by Levine. That's about as close Hoboken have come in quite some time. Hoboken have only taken 1 shot in this game. Park. Bit of a confusion there. Down for Hoff. And Smith cuts that one out. Smith looking for Pangrazzi. He's got him in behind. But Karolambis making the vital touch. Otherwise, Pangrazzi is one-on-one with Levine. Very good ball by Luke Smith. Now Barquin. Feels like the Pancyprians may be losing a little bit of focus as some of the substitutes have come on. Woods. Argudo. Long switch for Cederberg. Yaneza. Cederberg. Now dropped back. One other change that was made in that group was Junior Rosero, number 14. So Rosero, here's Argudo coming down from the byline. Park heads it back. Rosero headed away by Sanchez, but he wasn't paying attention to Fathazada coming off from him. It's going to be a corner. I think there is still a lot of offensive firepower on the field with the likes of Rosero. Sanchez still looking for his hat trick. Headed out by Pangrazzi. Sanchez trying to send it back first time. Blocked. Here's Woods. Argudo. Here's Tristino. Now, Ruiz again. Rosero thought he had somebody behind him. But Kress almost got caught in possession. Instead, Jowers comes out with it, and he's going to run. Here's Luke Smith. Dangerous creator, Smith, as he fires that in. Headed away. Hard to tell if that was aimed at Yingling or Pangrazzi. Pangrazzi looked like he was about to let it run. Petrocelli into the box. Cedarberg pushes it down, and that's going to be a goal kick as Pangrazzi pushes up. And the changes for Hoboken. Yingling stepping away. That's going to be Dante Petrocelli. The second of the twins on this team. I think it's Azer Brown as well coming on. It's the last one for Jowers. Smith in traffic. Here's Argudo. Across to Woods. That's a good play by Barkwin, but couldn't get there. Now Brown. Ooh, that brought somebody down. Here's Barkwin still with it. Petrocelli back to Park. And that one's given away. And that is a good play by Josie Sanchez. Getting that one away from Ruiz. Ruiz, his first 2 goals of the campaign for the Pancyprians. Tristino getting into double digits with his goal. And that was perhaps the wrong option by Park. He might have had time. Kress, though, gives that away to Argudo, and Argudo gets in a little too aggressively. That's Cedarberg heading that back to his own keeper, Levine. Hoff. Sanchez. Too strong a touch, though. Argudo. Into Rosero. Looked like, yeah, the flag is going up. Rosero was offside. Dante Petrocelli gets his first touch in. Barkwin. Going long. Smith trying to chase it. Easy for Levine. Huff. Rosero. Played well by Barkwin. Ruiz had quite a bit of green in front of him had that ball gone by him. Pangrazzi cushions it down. Brown. And here's Petrocelli. Petrocelli looking for it, and it wasn't far away. It was right at Levine there. might have had it covered, but that was very close to Enzo Petrocelli opening his account for the year. That goes over to Ortiz. Pangrazzi with the chest. Holding it. A little bit too much for Kress there. Cedarberg. Fatazada out to Woods. And a foul called on Brown there. Woods the victim. 70th minute, 20 to go. As Hoboken FC looking for anything to give them a spark of life. Enzo Petrocelli almost did it just now. Here's Pangrazzi. Kress across for Barkwin and couldn't take it in. He overran it a little bit. Levine. Now Woods. Here's Kress. Smith. Kress has it taken off of him. Here's Tristino. Tristino across the box. No one there. Ruiz takes it. Argudo. Petrocelli making the interception. He tries looking for Pangrazzi, but it's tapped by Karalambas. Just out of line. Hoboken have played hard here. There's no denying that, but when you go down to 10 men against the Pancyprians, it is an incredibly difficult thing to come from. An incredibly difficult thing to come back from. Pardon my... Barkwin looking to try to get past Woods, doesn't do it. Sebastian Ruiz on a hat trick, blazes past Park. Goes inside. Still alive. Here's Argudo. Argudo looks for the shot and it's blocked. A little selfish perhaps, but at this point in the match, you can't quite blame a guy for trying to get a little bit of glory in there as Brown is caught offside. Tristino. He opened the scoring with a rebound goal. And Ruiz kissing the ball off the inside of the post on a breakaway. And then slamming one. Here's Brown. Flag up again. There is. There is speed there for Brown. It's what you need to do, what you need to have in a situation like this where you've just got to break. Fathazada, a little bit too long for Ruiz. It's a goal kick. And Fathazada has stayed down after a bit of a clash in the midfield. Brown checking on him. And it is going to be a free kick, I believe, for the Pancyprians. It is for a foul. Brown being given a talking to. There has not been a card in this half. After 3 yellows and a red. Made themselves known in the first half. Hoff. Yaneza. One looking for Ruiz. Barquin ended up hitting it off Ruiz, but Ruiz recovered and took possession. Dropped back to Karolambis. Brown pressing him. And that is a very needless foul by Brown and a yellow card out. And justifiably so. That was just a straight up shove on Karolambis. Inside of 15 minutes to go in this game. Pancyprians have been the better side. And Hoboken the struggles this year with the big three. The Pancyprians, Lansdowne, Yonkers, and New York Greek Americans continues. They've lost the first game against the Pancyprians 4-2. They lost their first game against Greek Americans 5-0. Played a really exciting 3-3 draw against Lansdowne here in the end of November. But they have not yet found a whole ton of purchase against the biggest teams in this conference. They've graduated to being a serious mainstay here, and definitely a contender for 4th place. Although this result will drop them back 9 points behind Manhattan Celtic for that 4th spot. Here's Ruiz, tries to leave it for Rosero. Brown really has to be careful here. You do not... The absolute last thing you want to have happen if you're Hoboken is to go down to 9 men. Hoff. Fathazada. Argudo. Into Rosero. Good touch into the path of Fathazada, but Park digs it out. Dante Petruccelli backs it up. Long one looking for Smith. That might have been knocked down by the wind. There's a wind that has started to whip up from behind our camera position. Park was looking for Smith, and it looked initially like that ball would have the angle to get to him. Here's Tristino, and Park knocking that one over the line. Today's Game in Frame broadcast is sponsored by Salt Athletic. Salt have made the world's freshest, most advanced cleat bag. The air case uses antimicrobial technology to block smell, making for odor-free car rides and houses. Salt is offering the Game in Frame community an exclusive discount. Scan the QR code to get 10% off and keep it fresh. Fathazada rejected at the first post. Argudo. Rosero. Sebastian Ruiz. Josh Levine once again is at the center circle, just directing traffic and telling his teammates where the holes are. Might be a bit of a problem for him if Hoboken managed to win the ball cleanly here. Now he's taking a couple of steps back. Argudo. Woods. Ruiz. He goes right by Tristan Barquin. Puts it into the middle. Rosero! Junior Rosero on the turn. 2 goals and an assist for Ruiz now. And the route is complete. 4-0. Hoboken have been trying to kick the ball back toward the center circle. They've hit James Tristino twice. 4-0 now. A day that has not gone Hoboken's direction. They were hanging in there. They were posing a little bit of a danger. Levine catching that one. But the red card from Brady, which was controversial. Here's Ruiz. He's still looking for a hat trick, and he flashes it wide. More APSL action later tonight. Oakland United against Jersey Shore in the Delaware River Conference. Next week, CPR against Richmond County. Zum Schneider against Kid Super Samba, and then the Pancyprians against Manhattan Celtic. A game that Hoboken will have their eyes on. That's why a result today would have been really, really beneficial for Hoboken. It would have pulled them 3 points up back if they had won this game and then beat Doxa next week and had Celtic lose. 3 teams, Doxa, Richmond County, and CPR, the next 3 games on the docket for Hoboken. Those are teams that you expect them to be beating. If Manhattan Celtic end up getting cooled off. They're on a fantastic run of form right now. They've taken 19 of their last 21 available points. That one just a little bit just missed it. Petrocelli, Smith, and now Kress. We have Jens Hoff just left the field. I don't think anyone came on for him. Might have been an injury concern, because I don't believe there are any more subs available for the Pancyprians, so I think we're at 10 on 10 right now. Yeah, we are. Argudo drops that back. So, for the first time since the 25th minute, both teams have the same number of players on the field. Although it looks like we will have now somebody coming in. Don't have that player on our books. We'll try to get you that. And it's back to 11 on 10. That's a foul against Kress. Hoboken disheartened tonight for certain. Smith towards the far post, headed out by Woods. Brown and Fathazada battling, and it's Fathazada who gets possession. About 2.5 more minutes of a game that was changed in a flash when Daniel Brady was sent off for a last man foul. Rosero is called for a foul on Park as he goes by. So Ortiz will launch this ball. That's into the box. Sanchez! And the flag goes up. And a sarcastic clap from Sanchez to the assistant on the far side. He did not like that call. And he's going to get a yellow card for it. Hoboken has had their issues with the official on that side of the field today. Lots of issues. Here's Enzo Petricelli getting that one. That's over the top for Dante Petricelli. It is offside. Flies it over in any case. That red card to Brady is debatable. Hoboken were absolutely certain that they had defensive coverage beyond Brady. And that's going to be it. This game is over. A game that changed very much in the 25th minute. Hoboken had to play more than an hour down a man, and against the Pancyprians, that's a recipe for disaster. 2 quick goals at the end of the first half by Tristino and Ruiz. Ruiz flashing one in at the very beginning of the second, and then Junior Rosero putting the finishing touches on a 4-0 win for the New York Pancyprians. They stay atop the Metropolitan Conference table. They will be 3 points ahead of New York Greek Americans. Hoboken will stay in 5th, but they are now going to be 9 points back of Manhattan Celtic for the 4th and final playoff spot. A game that has not gone to plan for Hoboken. We will step away now from Laurel Hill Park. I'm Sam Lopresti for Game in Frame. Final score one more time. New York Pancyprian Freedoms 4, Hoboken FC 0.